Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen. Greg, in our last episode, we talked about Rich Rodriguez's firing and what that means for the Arizona football program. We did not get into who the next football coach at Arizona should be. Name names, Greg.
Name names. Okay, Mr. Seinfeld. David Phipp, Special Teams Coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, U of A alumnus.
Dick Tomey guy.
Dick Tomey School of Coaching. And you'll like this one, Ken Nuam-Talolo, the head coach at Navy.
Yes.
That guy would be special. He's David Shaw running the option.
Right. Can I look into the camera real quick? You want to be different. You want to be a tough out in the Pac-12. Arizona's not going to out Oregon. They're not going to out USC. You need to be a tough out. The option is a tough out. You may never produce an NFL player, but is Arizona doing that now anyway?
No.
I mean, you may never. Okay. To me, it has Dick Tomey's DNA in it, right? It is a run first, defense first thing. Tucson has proven that it will not fill the stands for Kadeem Carey. It will not fill the stands for Khalil Tate. It will not fill the stands for 40 points a game. Maybe it will fill the stands for defense and running and shorten games.
You know, if they hire him today, I would think that'd be a winning choice.
Right.
BYU couldn't hire him last year. They tried,
right.
And he's a BYU alumnus.
Right.
He turned them down.
Right.
So,
to say nothing of the fact he is Polynesian,
yeah.
He does a good job of recruiting those areas. This is an area where Arizona has been lacking in recent years. That would make perfect sense. Back to your list. I'm sorry, rant over. Back to your list.
Well, now let me go. One thing you cannot do. Arizona hired a failed Texas coach,
John Mackovic.
They fired a failed Michigan coach, Rich Rodriguez, and both blew up.
Right.
You cannot hire a failed coach who used to be a big name. You can't hire a Les Miles or someone like that. You can't hire a Kevin Sumlin.
Right. You need somebody on their way up, don't you?
Yeah.
Or somebody who sees Arizona as the pinnacle.
Yes, and embraces it, as you were talking about, playing his own style of football in Tucson and appealing to Tucson, instead of coming here like Rich Rodriguez did with one eye on an exit.
Right. Coming here like John Mackovic did, thinking that because he threw the ball 30 times a game that Arizona would win in an age where everybody throws the ball. I mean, to me, that's the problem from an X's and O's standpoint. RichRod invented that offense. Fact is, by the time he got to Arizona, more people were running it than weren't.
The peak of that offense was 2007.
Right.
10 years ago.
Right.
So don't hire a spread coach again.
Right. I mean, to me, you need to think one step ahead. Stanford did that when Stanford hired Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh came in and said, we are going to play, his words, not mine, manly man football. We're going to recruit linemen and tight ends. We're going to run the ball a bunch, and we are going to be purposely boring because nobody else in the league was doing that. They are now the standard in the Pac-12. So what is different from that? What is, I mean, do you try for something like the single wing? Do you try for something different? I'm dead serious. That doesn't mean that Arizona can't be good just playing regular football. But I think you need an identity. And right now they don't have one.
This is on Dave Heeke. He's been here, 7 months, maybe 8 months?
Right.
This is so big for him.
Right.
Because Arizona football has been wanting since 1998.
Right.
2 decades, nothing.
Right.
I mean, Mike Stoops was good for about 3 years, and Rich Rod was good for 1 year.
Right. Right.
That's it in a decade, 4 years.
Right. Okay, real quick, let's go some quick free association here. Mark Helfrich.
I think because he failed at Oregon, he would not be a good hire.
Jim Mora.
That's Rich Rod.
Yeah, okay. Jeff Tedford.
No.
Rocky Long.
10 years ago, yes.
Mike Leach.
I wouldn't touch Mike Leach with a 10-foot pole.
Sonny Dykes.
That's the guy I would have wanted to hire 2 weeks ago.
Right. And now, can't happen.
Too bad he didn't wait around. Maybe Dave Heeke wouldn't have bid on him, but
right.
He was the 180.
Right. To me, what's interesting is Butch Jones. Okay. Dave Heeke hired him at Central Michigan. They know each other. He was just fired at Tennessee. However, friends with RichRod, former staffer under RichRod. Would that be more of the same, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Plus, he got fired by Tennessee. Tennessee, are you kidding?
Right. Right. You can't win in Tennessee, which has infinitely more resources than Arizona does. 2 more. Chuck Season.
Absolutely. He's my second pick.
Okay. Ricky Hunley.
He wants to be on this staff,
okay,
but he told me he doesn't have to be the head coach.
Why wouldn't you just make Dick Tomey the head coach? Can we talk about blowing up the model for a minute in a very Herm Edwards way? Dick Tomey's 80.
78.
78. I'm sorry. He's 70. Sorry, Coach. 78. He's 78. Looks great. He was at the Arizona Bowl last week. Looked like he could still coach, still play. Why wouldn't you name him executive director of football? Have a staff filled with some of his old guys and give it a run?
It happened at South Florida.
Right.
He tutored Willie Taggart.
Right. Now he is tutoring somebody else, and it's a name we've not brought up yet. A name that you would know. Matt Wells at Utah State.
Boy, I'm an Aggie all the way and forever, but Matt Wells has struggled for 3 years, and it's a place you do struggle at.
Right.
And I just think those struggles will prevent him from being a guy you can bring in and expect the community to rally around.
He's coming off his 6th and 7th season. I think he looks the part. I think when RichRod interviewed at South Carolina, I think Matt Wells might have been Greg Brown's choice then.
In fact, he told me.
Well, there we go. If it was, would it be Dave Heeke's choice now? I'm not sure.
That would be down the line. Chuck Cecil, much better possibility.
I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, and we'll wrap up. The way this all ended for RichRod, right, with attendance is down even with a Heisman Trophy candidate, he came off as mean on the sidelines. Fans, I don't think, liked it. I think you need somebody to come in who can throw his arms around the program, somebody who is a Wildcat. And maybe that's not the way you do it everywhere, but maybe at Arizona you need a Wildcat on the sidelines to have Wildcat fans in the seats.
They haven't tried it here. Larry Smith had coached at Arizona,
Right.
and he brought the program to a bigger level,
Right.
and sustained it,
Right.
and took Arizona State down.
Right.
Took what Frank Cush had built and took it apart. That was the last time they hired a Wildcat. It worked. They got Chuck Cecil from there and Ricky Hundley from there, led to Teddy Bruschi. So try it again.
Will they?
I don't think anyone knows Dave Heeke well enough to suspect what he'll do.
Right. Right. And if Greg Burton was a ninja in his coaching search, Dave Heeke is going to be the invisible man. I can't imagine anybody knowing where Dave Heeke is and who Dave Heeke is talking to in the coming days and weeks.
And it's got to be quick.
Yep. Got to be quick. You've got a signing class in a month.
But, this is funny. What's today, January 3rd?
Mm-hmm.
Larry Smith quit on January 2nd when he went to USC.
Mm-hmm.
And Dick Tomey was hired 10 days later.
Wow.
And it worked.
And it worked. Maybe it'll work again. Maybe Arizona's next Dick Tomey is in Logan, Utah, or Tucson, Arizona, or Annapolis, Maryland.
Or today in Manhattan Beach, California, Chuck Cecil is having lunch with Ricky Hundley.
Be a fly on the wall there.
Yeah.
I would buy them around just to get their unfiltered thoughts on the last few days, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, boy, that should lead to something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We should see those two again.
Yeah, for sure. That'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook. For Greg Hansen, sorry, it was a long one, but there's lots to talk about. I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.